Scott Phillips over at the Motley Fool. He's the Chief Investment Officer, and it is budget day. Scott, just your thoughts on where we're at the moment. Hours out from Jim Chalmers delivering budget number 4.
Pete, good morning. Economist Christmas Day, mate, as I like to call it. I'm a nerd, mate. This is a fun day I like today. Other than the political spin, which I guess is where we need to start, because we've seen plenty of leaks over the past, well, not even leaks, just backgrounders to journos over the past 3 or 4 days, as governments do these days. They spend a week rolling out the big things so they get maximum PR coverage. It's going to be fascinating this time around too, because of course we know this is a pre-election budget. So how much the government decides to promise now and how much they put in that bucket, what do they call it, committed but not yet announced, that they can then roll out over the next couple of months as they go to that election, will be interesting to see. So this might be a big damp squib, or it might be something meaningful and worthwhile. We'll have to wait and see. The challenge, I suppose, you ask my views, is that neither party has yet committed to actual fiscal discipline. For all the talk about small surpluses and smaller deficits, we know the structural budget is dramatically imbalanced. It's going to lead to increasing amounts of debt over the next decade. That is unsustainable, mate. We need to do something about it. It's not a question of value. It's not a question of red or blue. It's simply a question of, as a nation, we don't want that much debt hanging over our heads. Warren Buffett famously said leverage is the only way a smart guy can go broke. Australia's not going to go broke anytime soon, but add too much debt, it pushes up the cost of borrowing. It makes it harder for us to borrow more money. And frankly, next time there's a crisis, a pandemic or something else, we're not going to have the dry powder we're going to need and going to want at that point. So now is the time to clean things up. They're simply not doing it at either side of the electoral.
Well, I was even going to ask then, how much runway we've got in the event of Donald Trump's tariff wars. But I mean, even this morning, there's been a watering down of his language.
Yeah, that's right. The people who are doing the bark worse than his bite trade so far are doing okay on the market. You've already mentioned that this morning. You're right, though. That is the key one. And again, the things, the black swans are never the ones we expect. So people are thinking about the next pandemic or the next, whatever global financial crisis. Turns out the next issue may well be a trade war, and we're going to have to deal with the fallout of that. You want to be in that sort of shape. Anyone knows on a personal level, right? Carry too much credit card debt, carry too much mortgage debt. You're absolutely vulnerable should something go wrong, even for a short period of time. You set up your finances conservatively, and you've got enough time and energy to deal with anything that comes your way, to raid the emergency fund or get back on your feet. Now, yes, government can print its own money, but frankly, we've seen what happens doing that over the last 5 years. So those who suggest that there is some sort of unlimited tap we can simply turn on whenever we need to, forget the consequences are, frankly, almost double-digit inflation for extended periods of time. This is not the sort of thing we want to see happen in Australia. Look, the other thing, by the way, housing affordability and superannuation, they're the two pillars that this election seems to be going to be fought on. This Help to Buy scheme just pushes up prices. We all know that. It's a limited number of places, but adds to demand without adding to supply. That just means prices go up. That's all it can mean. So that's a big one. The housing issue is not being dealt with by either party other than to throw more money at it, which simply just puts up demand in the guise of affordability. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to be very keen to see the budget tonight and the budget reply on Thursday. Of course, Peter Dutton's got not only the usual task of just, as opposition leaders of both stripes do, just complaining about the budget 2 days later, but also giving some sort of setup, some sort of framework for what their policy set might be, also coming into the election.
Maybe something on defence, which Miles isn't budging on today, but we'll see. Thank you.